like a pole. It was actually either made of wood or iron, which lets you know that they understood smelting and metallurgy and all this kind of thing. It usually has coils wrapped. It had crystals and magnets. And when you put this scepter in, you now were able to pull down with the crystal on the top energy from all around you. Our whole planet is living in a sea of energy. It's everywhere. The whole key was, if you put up the wrong thing, like a lightning rod, you might get fried on the spot. It was not a matter of energy. People say, where's the energy? The Creator did not make a planet without energy. Energy is all around us. The thing is, what devices do you use? At one time, they would use this. Therefore, when they put that in the ground, they could put on all the energy they wanted. Once the energy was then grounded, you could then use, in the other hand, what would be called an ankh. Okay? The ankh would be used and held, and it would begin to pull in energy and then discharge it through your body with your own energy field. Your own, what they call, again, using your chakras. But if you didn't ground out and you didn't have a discharge unit, you get fried on the spot. We use lightning rods and grounding things now. But this was a way of using the energy that the planet has, and of course certain sections of the planet have even a higher vortex of energy, and discharging it. It could be used as a weapon, it could be used as a healing device, and in this particular one, there are crystals in it. The crystal would modulate what kind of energy we were going to use at that time. When you were really a good magician or a wizard, a wise person or something like this, you could use many crystals, change your frequency with your thoughts, change the thing, and you could discharge all kind of energy. You could even pull in energy. But the thing is, people are talking about, where am I going to get energy? If I don't burn coal and I don't have oil, the energy is everywhere. Every once in a while, during a generation, somebody comes up with that thought. The industrial military complex cuts that all out because they don't want you to know that energy is free and the planet has all the energy you ever want. They're going into the ground to dig up fossil fuel, which is a misterm, talking about that all the dinosaurs died and all the plants died, decayed, and produced oil. Biggest lie ever told. No, many lies. One of the many lies they tell all the time. The energy is all around you. You know, in the wintertime, if it's cold or dry in there, again, and you rub a cat or you get on a fur rug, you touch something, it's energy. Static electricity, piezoic electricity, it comes from your body, and you're not grounding it. And you know that can hurt. Now, if you got a device that grounds it, and you can call in much, look at what you have. You have either healing or you have hurting. It's a matter of your consciousness, a matter of your spirituality. But the energy is there. All we're saying is the way some of this energy is being used now, it can be very detrimental, but you can use it still for the convenience of watching TV, making the phone calls, watching the internet, getting an hour, and even up there, what they call this thing, texting like mad while driving. And you can even drive safely if you use some of the modern conveniences, which are diodes to the point. Yeah. Our sun, our planet, of course, is going through a bunch of changes, but mainly our whole atmosphere is going through a bunch of changes. The United States, we're going to start out here because we're the United States, most of the people watching here, but we're going to deal with other countries also, set up a program called HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, that was started up in Gakona, Alaska. It's been at for about 20 years now, and what they did was to build an array of antennas to broadcast electricity into the atmosphere. The atmosphere includes 7 different layers, and the highest one is the ionosphere, the lowest one is the stratosphere. And these layers are up there as protectors for our Earth and generators of energy. Well, what they found out is by blasting a lot of electricity into space and into that, they could begin to do certain things that would upset or could change the molecular structure. Around our planet, there is what is called a jet stream. It's a layer of air that took thousands of millions, who knows how long, of years to begin to form that stream. And as that current went, certain things formed underneath it. There were times when it was hot, so things that were tropical grew. Things that were cold, things that were things were subtropical grew. The whole point was that this layer had been set up over lengths of time. By broadcasting up in Gakona, Alaska, this HAARP thing, it now could change that. Now, there are 3 reasons that they gave to begin with and why they did it. They said that they wanted to be able to blast energy up into the air to actually get these missile launching ships that use fossil fuel to be able to get up there without using up all the payload, all the fuel. And by blasting ahead of time this atmosphere, they would create a hole in which this launch vehicle could come up, use most of the space or most of the fuel when they got in outer space, and not have to work without friction and gravity to hold it back. Second thing they said they wanted to do were to launch artificial satellites and then be able to bounce signals from HAARP up to these artificial satellites, use them to then get enough energy to penetrate the Earth, to find gold, to find oil, to find hidden enemy installations, anything they wanted, they could now penetrate to the Earth. And then the last thing they said they wanted to do was to have over-the-horizon communication. They found that they had troops, always in military application, they would have troops that were going over the horizon while the broadcast would go, the signal would go out into space, it wouldn't curve. So they couldn't keep up with the troops. They also had submarines, and they're always playing games now with submarines. That's one of the reasons why the United States is so powerful. It has a subforce in all 7 oceans, and they can stay down there forever, and they can launch missiles. So they want to be able to detect enemy submarines or their own submarines. So therefore, by getting that signal to bounce down, they could then get it, and then they could communicate. All of those were true. But that was not the real reason that they did it, and not the only reason they did it. The real reason is they wanted to become masters. They wanted to become gods. They wanted to use our Earth as they saw fit because they had the scientific resources to do so. So what they really wanted to do was be able to blast a curtain of energy. And I think HAARP, I forget now, I think it's about 5 miles. I know they had 36 array of these towers, each one broadcasting 1 billion watts of electricity. When they did that as a curtain, it's as though you had a room and you had a fan on. And then in the middle of the room, you put a curtain up. Well, the fan would hit the curtain, but if the curtain was hot enough, the fan, some of the air would come back. And pretty soon it would form what they call turbulence. So they set this curtain of 1 billion watts of electricity up there. The jet stream hit it and did the same thing. Well, you can notice what that curtain does. That's a hurricane. When it gets smaller than that, that's a tornado. Off of that is a seiche. If it's over water, it's a water spout. They begin to actually cause turbulence, which is really what they now call weather modification. So now they tell you it's God acting up. That's why we got tornadoes. It's God acting up. That's why we got hurricanes. It's God acting up. Also, too, when the things happen in the Atlantic, it's called a hurricane. But what happens when it happens in the Pacific? It's a typhoon. No difference. It just gets more of it, and people are so molecularized and so miseducated, they begin to think that one is one way and the other. That means that we are actually causing, not we're, but they're actually causing turbulence in both the oceans. Our whole planet now is subject to weather modification. So if you got a drought, it seems like again you want to make rain. If you got rain, you want to make a drought. No. Whereas the drought, they make it more droughtful. Whereas what? Always doing things that are evil. Never using the things for good. So with all of that in mind, it was just a matter of time before, if human hemoglobin to a higher vibration is to drink chlorophyll. Now, when you got gold in the chlorophyll, not only are you getting a resustenance of your red blood cells and so, but you're getting to a very high vibration. And of course, it's taken in a liquid there. That liquid has gold, it has indium, it has iridium, it has all kind of precious metals in small form, and it's used with chlorophyll. So when you use it with chlorophyll in that way, you're now raising the vibrational rates of all your cells. All your cells that were much maybe cancerous or free radicals have a chance now to go back and to operate efficiently. What caused them to not operate efficiency again, and by the way too, these are actually gold capsules, and we have another gold concentrate. On our website, of course, we have all these things that people can buy. But what is the real reason for doing this? To change your structure so that as the sun is now putting up higher vibrations of magnetism, you can adapt to the newer spiritual side. It's bringing out the spiritual nature. It's stopping all these things that were holding us back, stopping us from progressing, and now we can begin to go into higher consciousness. So these are just tools to act on. Now, we all breathe. When we breathe for oxygen. And of course, in breathing for oxygen, we say, well, it comes from the breath. Well, there are so many things up there called chemtrails up there that are spraying actually titanium, barium, aluminum. Pretty much people have decided what's up in there again. Also, it has non-human T cells. It has a little bit of everything up there. So breathing may be dangerous for your health, but you won't need any health to not be dangerous if you're not breathing. So you got a conundrum. What do? How do you get ahead? You can take your oxygen in, you can raise your vibrations up so that the body can begin to operate on higher oxygen. We use a liquid because when you use a capsule, it can only be used internally. With this one, you can shave with it if you dilute it. You can kill germs. You've got fungus on the feet. You can put that in water. It will kill germs. If you are into health foods, and I know if you're listening to her, you use health foods, you can wash your vegetables before you juice them or whatever you're going to do. Kills bacteria in contact. Kills bacteria and viruses on your hand. It's such an easy application, and you can carry it around, travel. You're traveling to a country, you don't know whether the water's good. Put this in there, it's going to kill the germs because you can use it. So it's all kind of applications. So again, we say, let's use a liquid, and it's called O7. Many people now are being moved inside their consciousness to clean up their body. People who always wanted to do and used to talk it now have to start walking it. So people are trying to clean up their act. Well, we think one of the better things to clean up their act is the cleaner. There's a cleaner for men, there's a cleaner for women. There's a difference. I think we know that. So one of the things we do, we all have seven organs again and glands. So what this will do, this will kill it will help to clean out the body. And it also will kill parasites and parasitic eggs. Very few cleaners, without griping you and have you go to the bathroom, you can go to work and still do this. It works on a slow enough basis and it's so powerful that not only will it clean out your organs, it will kill parasites and parasitic eggs. Many people that have arthritis, they got rheumatism, they don't have any of that. They actually have viruses and parasites that have laid their eggs in there and they're eating you up. And you can always tell because you start craving sweets and things, because if they lay enough eggs, they'll make you eat to what keeps them alive, even to your detriment. That's where, again, the gold will help you to get strong enough in your own spiritual mind to fight off these parasites and everything else and do the right thing. At a time when our planet is being sold out by scientists and very evil, low-vibrating people, you can rise above that. You can become the gods and goddesses as you want to be by simply using what gods and goddesses do. Not going out and get a six-wing dinner, which you think came from 3 chickens, it might be 1, through genetic modification, which we talked about a little bit before. But again, why get any of it if nature has already grown for you in the form of herbs and seeds and leaves and twigs and things, the things that can keep you alive on this planet, because I still trust the planet maker, not the ones that are the planet takers. I still believe in the creator and the spiritual side of things rather than the other. So in general, I'm just simply saying to you, there are solutions. There are things that you can do to help yourself at this particular time on our planet. And if this is happening, and you see it before your eyes, why is it happening? Because something needed to knock out those satellites, something needed to change that weather back to what they wanted, and when that magnetic energy works, all things that are electric begin to fail. We're going to get brownouts, we're going to get blackouts, we're going to get power failures. Why? Because these evil people have put out this electrical propensity, ELF, extra low frequencies, which are killing you, which is killing the planet, changing the weather. They have down in Bolivia, they have down in Lima, Peru, millions now. I think it's now up to about 6 million crocodiles that are dead, turtles that are dead, porpoises that are dead. The species are dying. You can actually walk across the rivers in Bolivia. When you go up in China, Valina, China, the same kind of thing. Creatures are dying because of all this nastiness is done. And of course, this BP thing didn't help anything anyway. That's enough. Not even going to touch that. There's not enough time. But they're doing things to terraform Terra. Terraform, our old name for our planet was Terrestris. And Terrestris means Earth. So they're terraforming. They're going to change Earth from the outside in, when the Earth wants to change from the inside out, because the spirit that is Earth says enough of this. The planet has been granted the right to ascension. Our planet is going from kindergarten to graduate school, from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. And as we speak, that is still happening. You can feel it. People that are spiritual know there's a time for transformation. They don't know why. There's a time to fight off these things that are towers that are killing you. There's a time to ascend in consciousness. And everybody that is spiritual can do it. The people that are non-spiritual, that are soulless,